Okay. So we have to study about what are the functions of AWBI. You can see that. And you can see also the picture of a lady. She was a Bharatanatyam dancer. And she was also a MP, Rajya Sabha MP also. And her name is Rukmini Devi Arundale. And she was mainly responsible for for the formation of this body known by the name Animal Welfare Board of India. Even though she was a dancer, she was very active in the welfare of animals or any animal welfare activities. That's why she took because she was also an MB. She used her position to establish this board known by the name. Now everybody know what is Animal Welfare Board of India, because if you do something wrong with animals, these members of this Animal Welfare Board of India will be approaching you. So, gone to the animal welfare, going to the function of animal welfare board, and this board was established in 1962 based on the law known as Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act. Yesterday we were discussing regarding that. There is an important rule known by the name Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act, and that rule was bought by the government in 1960. And based on the provisions of that act, this Animal Welfare Board of India was established in 1962, and this lady was very much important, instrumental, or responsible for setting up of this board. Now, it is a statutory meaning legal. That is the meaning of the word statutory, bound by law. Statutory advisory body advising the government of India, Ministry of Environment, Forest, and that is main function of this Animal Welfare Board of India is that they will be giving advices on matters relating to the welfare of animals. If some cow or some animals are being harmed by people or by public or during any function, and the Animal Welfare Board of India can give an advice to the government, and based on that advice, government will be making some rules or bringing some changes in the existing rules. So that is the main function. It is an advisory body giving advices to the government on matters relating to the animal welfare. And about this headquarters, headquarters was in Chennai, because I think this Rukmani Devi is also from Tamil Nadu. Maybe that is the reason why this Animal Welfare Board of India had its headquarters in Chennai itself. And now has moved to Haryana in the year 2018. So this is the history regarding the Animal Welfare Board of India. Now, an important recommendation of AWBI or Animal Welfare Board of India is that they recommended government to create a committee. That committee is known as a Committee for the Purpose of Control and Supervision of Experiments on Animals, CPCSE. CPCSEA. CPCA. That is how it is usually pronounced, CPCA. It's a very strong, because if you are active involved in any kind of research on animals, you will be coming across this law or this committee, CPCA. Their function, and it is the one important recommendation given by Animal Welfare Board of India, is to create a committee which will be monitoring or which will be supervising the experiments conducted on animals by different groups of people. Our universities are doing, research institutes are doing, so many other people may be doing some kind of experiments or other kind of activities on animals. So there should be some committee to monitor how animals are being used by human beings for different kinds of activities. So in 2001, government passed the performing animals rule, because some animals will be used in circuses. So that is, and these aspects are coming under performing animals rule, which were amended. Amended means modified in 2005. And these rules put regulation for preventing cruelty involved when animals are used. For example, in circus, different types of animals are used. And earlier we are also come across another rule that some animals may not be used in circuses, but there may be some modification. That's why they are still using. Even if they are, even if animals are used, they have to be used in such a way that they will not be put into any. They will not be given any kind of physical stress or any kind of difficulties. So these are the main rule of the CPCA is preventing cruelty but intentionally or unintentionally. So that is mainly preventing cruelty to the animals when they are used for some kind of entertainment. Then Animal Welfare Board oversees animal welfare organization. For example, different types of animal welfare organizations are active in India. Some may be, for example, for concern with the protection the cow. If you go to North India, such groups are very active protecting cow. Or some groups are very active for protecting dog. Say if somebody kills a dog, the next day the newspaper will be publishing that news. So there are different types of bodies which are concerned with the welfare of animals, and this board giving recognition to different types of animal welfare organization, and they are also responsible for appointing the key people or important people concern like animal welfare officers. For example, in municipality, corporation, grama panchayat, maybe there will be some person responsible for known as animal welfare officer. Their role is that if anybody is doing some kind of harm to any animals in their area, they will be taking legal action against them. So that is the function of animal welfare officers, and this Animal Welfare Board of India is appointing those people. Then CPCA is another. Coming to the CPCA, this CPCA was established in 1991. From the title itself, Committee for the Purpose of Control and Supervision of Experiments. For example, in different types of animals are used in research, mainly rat and mice. Along with rat and mice, we are all people are also using rabbit, and monkeys are also used. So, for example, when a new medicine is discovered, the effectiveness of that medicine has to be tested, and that testing process is mainly done on rat or mice, or after rat or mice, then they will be conducting it on monkeys also, because monkeys are a primate. They are very near to human beings. So effect on monkeys will be somewhat similar to the effect of medicine on human beings. And after that, they will be also testing on human beings. So different types of animals are used in experiments. And when animals are used in experiment, some kinds of control should be exercised. Otherwise, the government can take legal action, criminal action against you. So, objective of CPCA is to ensure that animals are not subjected to unnecessary pain. For sometimes when animals are put in a for research studies, there may be some kind of physical or mental stress will be there, but sometimes because of the neglect by the researcher or the person responsible for that, animals should not be given unnecessary pain and or suffering. And before or during, for example, sometimes what happens is that till the end of the experiment, they will be taking care of the animal very well, and after that, they will be simply abandoning the animal and leaving it to die alone. So such kind of abandoning the animal after the experience is also a cruelty. So government can take legal action, animal welfare officers can take legal action. That's why there is a committee right now called a CPCA. And for this purpose, under the delegate powers, committee formulated breeding and experiments on animals rule, which were amended in 2001 and 2002. So basically, this CPC is an important role. In most of the time in question paper, you can expect what do you mean by CPCA? CPCA main purpose of the CPCA, it's a committee actually monitored by Animal Welfare Board of India, and their purpose is that to control or supervise the research activities are going on animals. That is the main function of CPCA. If you go to university, MG University or any university in Kerala, you can come across different kind of ethical committee, and this ethical committee are also functioning under the control of under the guidance of CPCA. Then main functions of CPCA, basically they can already the primary function is actually supervision of the experiments. Then these are the different types of functions mentioned under the CPCA. One is registration of establishment, conducting animal. For example, if a university or research institute is doing some kind of experiments on animal, they have to be registered under CPCA. So that is an important and function. Selection and assignment of nominees of institutional animal ethics committee. Yesterday I was discussing with you. In every university or research institute, there will be a committee known as institutional ethics committee. This institutional ethics committee is giving you permission to carry out research on rat or mice. Only if they give you the, for example, if they have given you permission to conduct research on 5 or 10 rats, you can only conduct research on 5 or 10 rats. And you have to give a detailed report what happened to the that 10 rats after your study. So these and this body known as institutional ethics committee will be most of the time. For example, if it is an institutional ethics committee, it will be usually headed by district collector. At the top, there will be district collector, and there will be some professors, and there will be some gram panchayat members or municipality members also. So it's a very wide, it's a broad organization. Then so that is the function of this institutional ethics committee, and the members of the institutional committee is also appointed by this CPCA. Then approval of animal house facilities on the basis of reports of it. For example, you go to MG University, you can find animal house. Animal purpose of the animal house is that if they are working on a rat, the rat has to be reared in some room, and that room is known as the animal house. And there will be a person, 1 or 2 person responsible for giving food and taking care of the rat or other kind of animals there. So such an house has to be approved by CPCA. So giving approval to animal house, that is another function. Then permission for conducting experiments. For example, if we are using rat, mice, or monkeys, we need permission, and directly we are taking that permission from an institutional ethics committee. But this institutional ethics committee is giving you permission based on the recommendation of CPCA. Then there is another then recommendation for import of animal. For example, you want to study on some animal. There are different types of, for example, some foreign that is not presently available in India. You may need to import that animal from a South an Asian country or an American country or a European country. You need permission of CPCA. Otherwise, you cannot import. For example, this way you can give an order, but when the animal reaches the airport, the customs authorities will be asking for the permission. We cannot give you the permission letter, they will send it back to the host country again. So that is another function. Then conducting training program, then support and workshop on animal ethics. These are some of the functions of CPCA, taking action for those people who are violating the norms. So all these are coming under the functions of CPCA. Then there is another. So these are so CPCA is an important question. For your examination, you can expect one question on CPCA. Comment on the functions. What is CPCA? Or write down the functions of CPCA. Then another section that you have to study is ethical commitment. Ethical means moral. മലയാളത്തിൽ സദാചാരപരമായ സന്മാർഗമായ. So ethical commitment, for example, when animals researchers who use animals for research or teaching purposes have a personal responsibility for all matters relating to the welfare of the animal. For example, you are using rat, you are using frog, or any kind of animals you are using. We have a responsibility to take care of the welfare. Usually, what happens is till our experiments are over, Most of the researchers will be taking care of the health of the animal very properly because they need a result, a proper result. So they will be giving good food and they will be taking care of the nutrition and or other aspects of the animal. But usually, what happens is that when the research is over, they will not be very careful in attending the animal, feeding the animal, or taking care of the health of the animal, or simply neglecting it. That is a cruelty. So this is known as ethical commitment. When we are using an animal for some purpose, we have a moral responsibility to take care of the physical and mental health of that animal. That is coming under the commitment. This responsibility embraces means involves a duty of care which demands a genuine commitment to the welfare of. For example, basically, ethical commitment upholds that when we are using an animal, we have a duty, we have a responsibility to take care of the physical and mental health of that animal. That is a primary point coming under the ethical commitment. So by ethical commitment, we simply mean that when we are using animal, we have a duty to care that animal, or we have a responsibility to take care of the health of the animal. A respect for the contribution of the animal make to research and teaching and desire to promote animals well-being. That's another important aspect. For example, even though animals are not, because many of the things that you are now studying in textbooks are actually contributed by the scientists who've done some kind of research of animals. So without the animals, our modern biology, modern physiology, modern medicine may not be possible. So the animals are giving a important contribution to the welfare of human beings and welfare of the society. So we have to appreciate, we have to recognize that animals are important. Then, before any research, the researcher must obtain approval from ethics committee. Already, I have discussed that in all the universities and എന്ത് പറ്റി തല കറങ്ങണോ നിങ്ങൾ ആരെങ്കിലും കൊണ്ടുപോയിട്ട് അപ്പുറത്തെ ലാബിൽ പോയി ഒന്ന് കിടന്നോണം പറക്കും രണ്ടുപേരും കൂടി പോയി എന്നാ അവിടെ പോയി ഒന്ന് കിടന്നു നോക്കും കുറച്ചു നേരം എന്നിട്ട് വെള്ളം എന്തെങ്കിലുമൊക്കെ കുടിക്കാൻ നോക്കും പിടിച്ചിട്ടും പോയിക്കോ താഴെ വീഴരുത് എപ്പോഴും നേരത്തെ തല കറങ്ങുന്നുണ്ടോ പ്രിയാംസിനോട് ആരെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടോ ഏഹ് ആണെന്നൊന്ന് കുറച്ചു നേരം കിടക്കാൻ പറ അവിടെ ഒരു എന്തെങ്കിലും ബെഞ്ച് എന്തെങ്കിലുമൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടാവും എന്താ കൊച്ചിന്റെ പേര് അമീലിയ അമിൽ നിങ്ങളുടെ ലീഡർ ആയിരുന്ന കൊച്ചു അല്ലേ നിങ്ങൾ ഈ മാസ്ക് ഒക്കെ വെച്ച് കഴിയുമ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് ആളെ മനസ്സിലാവില്ല ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ ഒരു രക്ഷയില്ല മാസ്ക് വെച്ച് കഴിയുമ്പോൾ കാണുന്ന ആളും മാസ്ക് ഇല്ലാതെ കാണുന്ന ആളും തമ്മിൽ ഭയങ്കര ഡിഫറെന്റ്. ഓക്കെ, so let's continue. So going to the please listen here. So going to the animal ethics committee, here you can find that going to the ethical committee. Basically, by ethical commitment or ethical responsibility, simply a duty to take care of the welfare of animals. That is the main aspect coming under the ethical commitment. The significant penalties apply to both institution and individual that fail to comply with the requirements of CPCA. So, then teaching and research involving animals must not commence without appropriate ethics approval. For example, you are doing a research on a rat, and when you are submitting your PhD thesis or MPhil thesis or an MSc thesis, most of the time the expert who will be evaluating your thesis will first ask where is your permission letter. For example, I am doing research on spiders present in forest. When my students are submitting their thesis, the first question they will be asked, where is your permission letter? If you cannot show a permission letter, then your PhD is over. Then they can take legal action against you. So without permission, we cannot publish, because even if you are publishing a paper in a journal, at the end there is a column known as acknowledgement. There you have to mention this research has been permitted by Kerala Forest Department as per this order. So this is very important. So permission is important in every research study. Without permission, we cannot publish any kind of data that we have gathered. So that is a point in the use of ethical permission also. So this is regarding the animal ethical commitment. Then we have one more topic in that section.